All right, welcome everybody to week 9, day 1. So what I'm going to show you today is we're going to go over more advanced things you can do in Niagara. Here is a laser beam. You can see I've got laser zombies here. Laser zombies fade in and out of existence. Come on, fade for me. There you go. So like they're still there, but they will sort of fade away and then come back. So they can be a little dicey to shoot. You think you've killed them, but they actually are still there. And when they die, you'll see them actually disintegrate. Let's see if I can. Yeah, you see that? So they actually disintegrate as you kill them. I think there's another one over here somewhere. You can see also that my character has like these shields that kind of glow around his body. Oh, there's another zombie over here. Let's see if I can. Oh, they're there. Let's see if I can show you the death effect. Okay, so this is a game my daughter made mostly. So don't hold it against me. She built this game, and you can see there's some laser zombies up here as well. And the goal is just basically to run around and kill the laser zombies. There's also Flamethrower. Basically the goal is to kill all the laser zombies without dying yourself. It's a pretty simple game. She built this giant ramp. Okay. So here we go. It's so ridiculous. I love it. We have this skyscraper here. And then I think there's no collision mesh on the inside of it. So, she added a waterfall also to the inside. So you can see she added like a pool on the top of those two parts of the skyscraper and a swimming pool down there and stuff. And yeah, the other laser zombies are down here. So I'm just going to flamethrower them to death once I get down there. Yeah, maybe I missed. Actually, where'd they go? Maybe they ran off. They do pathfind. So you can see here I've got a Niagara Effect that is a cool little like flamethrower that I built. It's a variant of the fountain that I showed you guys last time. You can see I've got the animation. This is all taken from Mixamo. The character is also from Mixamo. The glowy shield around him that glows like that is a Niagara particle system that I made. I'll show you how to do that. My daughter hand placed all of the lights up on the wall here. Far too much effort, I think. You can see this is the starter template, right? Recognize this. So she started with the third-person starter template and really kind of modified from there. She has a little glowing pool here that's kind of cool. And she built this spiral staircase by attaching together multiple spiral staircases together. There's also audio on this. I don't know if that's going to come through. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's audio and there's attenuation on the audio. So, did I get them all? This is like a nightclub area up top here, and so there's like techno music playing. And when you're down here, like you can hear like a little bit of the techno music. It's probably not going to come through on the recording, but when you go up to the top, like it gets louder. See that? So that's like an automatic audio attenuation feature, which is a little. I guess this is a bar area. I guess you have like a dance floor over here filled with laser zombies. I guess there's some laser zombies just like around somewhere. Like if they don't see me, they just kind of like wander off. Oh, there's one. So let's go kill this guy. And so you can see when I shoot the laser, there is a particle effect of where you hit. And did I die? No. And then there's sparks that fly up as well. But there it is. Okay. And then that's the disintegration effect there. And I don't know where the last guy is. That's a downside to having monsters randomly pathfind around, is that you kind of lose sight of them. It's kind of a big world. Anyhow. So there's a game over screen if you kill them all. See, my health is above half-life right now. Not too bad for a 9-year-old, I think. Not too bad. I don't know where the last one is. Anyhow, okay. So let's go over the Niagara Systems, now that you've seen kind of what it looks like. One of the systems I created, I call the body shell, and that is the that glowing, like, laser shield that the main character has. Um, and so this guy here does what's called a mesh reproduction sprite. Let me minimize my face. And so what this is going to do is it is going to grab the skeletal mesh off the player you're attached to. Excuse me. And so what this is going to do is basically get the skeletal mesh of the player, and then it's going to spawn 200 particles on the surface of the mesh. That's why it looks like these like little starlight, things around the player. And then they is this one body shell? Is this the right one? I'm not sure if this is the right one actually. Death shell, that's if you die. Laser impact. Body shell system. Okay. There we go. Okay. So the other one was the emitter. This one's a system. So systems can include multiple emitters. In this case, though, I only have one. And so a system can take parameters. And so the parameters, no mesh assigned. Yeah, I know. It will be. The parameters are color and a skeletal mesh. And so these parameters get passed in from somewhere else. And so basically I can have the body shell system take a color from somewhere else. And so the human, the main player, is blue and the zombies are red. And it uses the same Niagara system for both of them. And it simply colors them differently depending on whether you're team good or team evil. And so you can see here, you can just add a property by clicking on add a new property. Let me get my face out of the way, add a new property. And you can add in like a color, something like that. And then these will you can expose them to other people, and then other blueprints can do things like edit my color and edit the skeletal mesh that it is attaching to. And so what the system is doing is it is going to do a mesh reproduction sprite, which is going to spawn points along the mesh that is passed in. That is the parameter sk mesh. In order to set a parameter, like let's say you just do something like yeah, I mean that's the input there. But basically you can just drag these things on like that. And then so when you create a parameter here, then these things will get set elsewhere, and then you can attach them into your emitter by just dragging them from here onto the appropriate spot. And then that will link everything together. This is actually kind of the main topic for today, which is that Niagara Systems can take inputs from blueprints, and you can hook your blueprints to your Niagara Systems and have them control what's going on. And so I can have a different color passed in, and our color is going to be initialized particle. And so if you remember last time, last time I think we had like a random color or something like that. For the fire, actually, I think we just hard coded it to be red that would change over time using the scale color. You can have the colors change over time. The colors, though, you can drag once you've created a parameter. You can drag that parameter onto here, and then that is where are you? Just as fixed color. There. Yeah, basically you just drag that on top of there, and then that's the color that will be used. It's just a direct set color. And you just drag that on, and then boom, you've got a color linking the blueprints and the Niagara system and the Niagara emitter. So the Niagara system is kind of the glue between the blueprints and the emitter. Okay. And so to show you what that looks like, connect to source. Oh yeah, I had source control set up for this. Yeah, I'm just not going to save anything today. It's fine. So let me show you the player. Whoop! Town hall in 5 minutes. No, I'm all right. Zoom. So let's see here. So the third-person blueprint is here, And if I go to the viewport, you can see that my character has this cool little glowy blue shield on it. And that is just this variable here I call the Niagara outliner. I just named it that. But the you see how I attach it to the mesh here? Right? So I basically added a new Niagara system, Niagara particle system. I attach it to the mesh. And then over here, you can see that this is the other end of it, right? So in the Niagara system, I created a parameter holding a color, and I've attached that system here to my player blueprint. And right here, I can choose the color of the glowy things around him. So if I can set this to like a bright green, and then unselect it, you can see the player is now going to be. Maybe I need to save it first. The player is now highlighted in a green, kind of cool looking thing, right? So do you guys understand? So it's kind of like a multi-step process. There's kind of 3 levels that you have to deal with. The here, so the body shell system. So this is the emitter, and the emitter has a variable for the color, and that color is the parameter. The system has the parameter. It's exposed to the outside world, and you drag that parameter onto the color, and then that parameter passed in by the other blueprint is the color that's used here. And then here on the blueprint, you click on the Niagara system, and you can choose the color. You see there's like the player, the system, and the emitter, and they all kind of link together so that you can pass the color from the third-person blueprint to the Niagara system to the emitter, and it gets its color that way. And I can now sit there and just play with these values. I could even change them over time. In my blueprints, I could have the colors change depending on your health or something like that. So as your shield breaks, it changes from like a nice glowing blue to like a darker color or something like that. So yeah, so that's how you do that. You basically create. I'd probably create the parameter first in this system, expose it to the outside world, and then drag it onto the emitter, and then go into the blueprint. And after you've attached the blueprint, go into the blueprint after you've attached the Niagara system to the blueprint, then you can set the color here. Okay, and likewise the SK mesh parameter here, which is being passed in. This is the system. It's being passed into the emitter here, right there. You create the parameter, and you just drag it over like that. So this is the emitter, this is the system, and then in the blueprint is choosing the skeletal mesh for my main character. That's how the 3 things all coordinate together. And you can do really cool stuff like this. Very, very, I wouldn't say simply, but pretty simply. It's not actually that hard. And so, yeah, it's just attaching to the parent. And so what it's going to do, it's going to pick up all of the animation from this guy. So as the mesh here is animating, the outliner is going to be picking up the animations from the parent and duplicating it. And there's a problem if you, I think it might be skin on the fly you need to set. Like right now my mesh is actually animating, right? And so the particle effect has to pick up the animations, and I think if you there's some way of breaking it. Require current frame data, maybe. I don't know. There's some setting that if you don't set it right, the particles won't pick up the animation correctly. So just look at how I have it here and duplicate it. Yeah, I do recall that being an issue though. So, but yeah, you can see the particles are moving with the main character, and they're kind of glowing and then fading and stuff like that. And that's deliberate. I have the color fade over time. Over 1 second, and I have, this is the thing that will update it as the character moves. So as the character moves, we're going to update the things, and it is going to again be attached to that variable here. And so it's going to be grabbing the current animation and then putting particles along it. And that is basically it. The lifetime of the particles is set to 10 seconds. That's why you see this really long fade over time as the particles start off bright and then they sort of dim and then they suddenly get bright again. That was a deliberate choice. That's not a bug. I'll say it's not a bug. It's not. It's actually I actually did like that, how it like glows and then fades, and these guys glow and fade. I did kind of like that. You can see over 10 seconds it slowly fades down. It slowly fades down, and then after 10 seconds it glows again. So yeah, it's deliberate. It is. Okay, so so the same body shell system I attach to the zombies. So if I go into the zombie BP and go over to the viewport over here, you can see my zombies have the same system attached to them. And this time, though, the color of them is set to red. And so the red that's set here sets the parameter here, which sets the parameter here, right? That's how it gets passed through. And I've also got a death shell system that doesn't get shown until they die. That's how they like disintegrate into dust, like in like a Thanos snap, right? So when they die, they sort of like disintegrate into dust. And so by default, the death shell system is not shown and it's not playing. And so in the zombie blueprint event graph, when they die, they get shot, their health goes down, their health goes down. If their health ever hits below 0, one time and one time only, that's what do once means. It's a very useful thing, by the way. Only ever play this code one time. Because otherwise you keep shooting the zombie and they keep dying over and over again, right? So do once and one time only. Then it will turn off the destroy component, will delete the glow shell from existence, and it will activate the death shell system. And so it turns off one particle effect, it activates the other. It grabs the mesh location, it plays the sound. Yeah, you guys probably can't hear that, but like when they die, it goes like this. It waits for 2 seconds, then it deletes itself. So basically the thing like vanishes into dust and then it wipes itself off of the face of the planet. So that is how you can like have 2 different particle effects attached to the same mesh. And one of them, glow shell, starts off activated by default. Death shell, you can see, does not auto-activate by default. So what happens is it just bides its time, and once the guy dies, then it gets activated, the glow shell gets destroyed, and the glowing red dots turn into a dissolution effect. It looks pretty nice, I think. It looks pretty nice. I could probably spend more time with it, but I think it looks pretty decent. Okay, so that's how you can have like, you can outline a mesh with particles, which looks really nice, honestly. Like it's just a cool looking effect, and like I said, you can have it tie in with the blueprints so that, like, you know, as your shields get damaged, the glow gets weaker and weaker, so you can have a visual, you know, feeling of your character's health. Let's see here. So we've also got here our plasma barrel. This was modeled by one of the Clovis Community College employees, a guy by the name of Mike Strun, who may or may not give a guest lecture this semester. He sometimes does in Game Dev and sometimes doesn't. But he modeled this gun that you can see the guy holding there. And I mean, everything's kind of black, so maybe you're not too impressed. But he did all that modeling in Blender and then sent it to me, and then I kind of imported it. And so this guy is attached to this hand socket. So we've talked about that before, right? How you can have like you got a mesh, and then you can have like a socket on it on the hand. So this gun is attached to the hand socket, I think the right hand right here. And then I added a point in space. You know how we've done that before. So you can see how the point in space is parented to the plasma rifle, right? And so basically what I've got is a starting point for all of my shooty stuff, right? And so no matter where the gun moves around with the animations and all that stuff, I know exactly where the laser beam is going to be coming from. And then I think the direction it shoots isn't actually based on the direction the gun's facing, but the direction the camera's facing. So that as you animate, the laser isn't like swinging wildly, which is, I think, what I originally had. So as you ran around shooting, like as the gun's bobbing, like the laser's just shooting the grass and shooting the sky, and you're like running around like this, and like lasers are flying everywhere, and it looked kind of stupid. So even though it's not accurate, the camera is actually the direction the laser shoots in, not the actual direction the gun's shooting in. Just to make, does that make sense to you all? Like sometimes you have to make compromises to the reality of the game, you know, and have bullets come out at an angle. You guys understand? Like, because it just looked really weird. So sometimes physically accurate isn't the right way to code things. All right, let's see what else we got here. I got Laser Boy here. All right, so Laser Boy. Socket, yeah. So the parent socket is gun socket. So when I have the gun selected, you can see it's in a socket. And I'll just show you guys that again real fast. So if we go up to the skeletal mesh here and click on U, and we click on the skeleton, and we look at all the bones in the skeleton. Left shoulder, left arm, left hand, gun socket. So what I did was I right-clicked on that hand, and I clicked and I said add socket, and then I renamed the socket to be gun socket. So basically, however the skeleton moves around, and I could show you like a preview animation or something. Preview mesh. Where is the preview? It doesn't matter. But like as the thing moves around, the socket moves with it, right? So if I show sockets, well, anyhow, the socket is attached to the hand, and so the socket is going to be moving around. You can see it right there. It's that circle, I think. And so the gun is always going to be fixed to that thing. It's like having a Lego. And Legos have like these sockets, like on the top of the person's head, there's a giant circle, and then you can like click a hat onto it, things like that. You can add a socket to the top of somebody's head and have a hat attachment socket, things like that. So the gun socket will move around wherever the hand moves. And then when you want to attach something in the character over here, you can just put something in and say parent socket is the gun socket. And then the thing will just move however the gun socket moves, the gun moves with it. And you just drag it into place so that it looks about right. Because, there. So you see, if you don't have it like lined up properly, it looks really bad. So you kind of have to like, make sure that the thing is actually in place, or the thing looked really weird. But yeah, however the hand moves, the gun moves with it. Okay. So, all right, so let's talk about the laser system over here. Bill. Flame. Laser Boy. Laser emitter. Laser impact system. Laser. Okay. So the first thing, I guess, is the laser emitter. And the laser emitter has two properties on it. One is the color of the laser. The other is the ending point of the laser. And the ending point of the laser is going to be, let's see here, spawn burst, beam center, beam end right here. Yep. And so the starting point is wherever the Niagara system is. And so the Niagara system is like right here, or it's probably actually from the, it's actually probably attached to the barrel opening, I think. And so wherever you put the Niagara system, that's where the laser comes from. And then the laser ends at this parameter right here, whatever that is. And let's see if I can set a default here. Here. Yeah, so if I make this like 1000, okay, you'll see that over here, this is what the laser is going to look like. Now it doesn't draw anything because the thing is a parameter, and I don't think I have a default set on the parameter. Yeah, so whatever. So basically, it's going to spawn a beam from here to here, and then you do things like have the color be set. So the color is being set here by the parameter, and so if you make the color blue, then you get a blue laser beam from point A to point B. Okay, so that's all the laser emitter does. Do I want to save it? No. The laser boy is yeah. So the laser boy is this. All right. And so the in the third person character, you can see the laser boy is like right here. But what we do when we fire, and you'll see this in a second, is that we move laser boy to the point that the laser hits, and then we turn it on, and then you'll have this like cool shower of sparks from wherever the laser hits, and then these white things here are supposed to be like dust, but they kind of look just bad. So I don't really like the the impact dust very much. I kind of like to mess with that. So the script anyhow says every tick that it's out, it's going to do a line trace, and so it traces in the direction you're looking, and whatever it hits, then it sets the. So this is how you can set parameters in a blueprint. Okay, so you've got this Niagara laser, Niagara particle system, and if you want to set a parameter on it, laser. Okay, laser. Here we go. So you've got a parameter called color and a parameter called laser in. So when you shoot, it does a trace line to find the ending point. And then it grabs the Niagara laser and sets the parameter on it. This is how you link together blueprints and parameters. The other stuff you saw was all hard-coded, where the laser zombies are just always red, the player is always blue or yellow now. If you want the blueprint to update and change like your color and things like that, like I was talking about earlier, this is how you do it. You drag out the Niagara system, and then you pull from it, and you say set parameter. And there's different kinds of parameters. Color parameter if you want to set the color, vector parameter to set the location, and things like that. So you basically can do that, and then that will pass to the laser Niagara system what color you want, what ending point you want. The ending point's the big one. That's where it draws to. So so this sets the ending point. So every frame that you're holding attack, it's doing a trace line over and over again from the direction you're looking to see what you hit. And then it sets the ending point of the Niagara system to there. And then the Niagara system draws a laser from your starting location to the ending location. And then it turns on the Niagara impact, which is the stupid... actually, no, that's the good one. And then the other one as well, I think. So, oh yeah, so it moves the location of the shower to the point that was hit. So we do a trace line, and then we move the fountain to that spot. So as we play the game, as we play the game and we hold down click, what's happening is it's every frame it's doing a trace line, and it's actually moving that Niagara system to a different location based on what we're hitting. So you see how the beam is like really short there? And so as we hit zombies, it becomes shorter, and then once they're dead, then it goes off to a max distance of like about that far or so. So you can see that the Niagara system is getting moved around every frame and drawing a fountain there. And then as I move it, the fountain effect just follows it along. And then once I stop, everything gets hidden. So Laser Boy will get hidden by the third person character. I put action fire. Okay. So this is, I'm back in main. Okay. So in the third person character, when I hit click, I show Laser Boy. When I release click, it hides Laser Boy. It's as simple as that. And I just set a variable saying I'm firing or not. So I'm just kind of tracking, am I firing, am I not firing? That's it. So that's all it takes, because the Laser Boy itself, every frame updates itself to be in the direction of the player. And so the Laser Boy is constantly recalculating where it needs to be and setting the parameters of the Niagara system based on the direction we're looking, and then turning on these things if they're visible. And again, these are the parameters here, and those parameters go into the emitter. Spawn beam width. Color is here, and then the ending point of the beam is here. So that's kind of how everything connects together. Okay. It's pretty cool, in my opinion. And then every tick, if we're firing, then we do a trace line, and if we're hitting a zombie, then the zombie gets hit. And yeah. And then alt fire is the flamethrower. So let me show you the flamethrower. Flamethrower is a little simpler than the laser beam, because the laser beam, in order for it to work, has to be constantly doing trace lines and updating that parameter as to where the ending point of the beam should be as you look around. It's constantly figuring out how far things have to be. It takes a little bit more work. The flamethrower is a little bit easier, so let's go over that. Flame Boy is the particle effect, and you can see it's just like a little puff. That's it. And the Flame Boy system. And all we do in the main is just when we right click, it turns on alt fire. When we release, we don't alt fire anymore. And so I added in a little logic so you can't fire both at the same time. So, yeah. So up here, if you are holding down alt fire, then it does a line trace, and it spawns the Flame Boy system, and it does damage to the zombies. Quite a lot of damage, in fact. So, let's see, Flame Boy system right here. And so you see Flame Boy system takes in a bunch of parameters, age, all these things here get passed in. And then we've got the color probably should be set as a parameter. I don't know if we're using any of those parameters. Yeah, but it's basically one puff of fire. And so what we're doing is basically every tick, we are going to be spawning a new Flame Boy at our forward location times our range and a bunch of other linear algebra. And it basically is just going to, when we play the game, it is just going to, every tick, fire one of these things. So this is not good game design, right? It is spawning these things as fast as your frame rate goes. So the damage the system does is based on the frame rate of my system. Why did I do it this way? Because it looks cool. I mean, it really does. Like, you know, it just looks so beautifully silky sweet, you know? Like, it's just... Right, if I click once, you see it just does this little puff, right? That's one spawning of the thing, and so, but if you hold it down, like, man, it's beautiful. It just looks like, I don't know, it looks really nice. Probably going to kill the frame rate on a lesser system, but I like it. I think it looks cool. And that's the main thing, right? Is that it looks cool. And so, again, what's going on here is every frame, if we're not firing the laser, then, and we are firing the flamethrower, then it does a trace line from the start to the finish. And if we get a hit, the zombies are going to get damaged. We spawn one of the little puffs of fire. We spawn that at barrel opening plus forward vector times 100. So it's going to spawn the flame about a meter in front of our barrel opening. So our barrel opening is right here. So it's going to just move forward about a meter. So the fire is not coming from inside of us, but a little bit in front. So, you know, these are the kinds of things you kind of tweak a little bit. So barrel openings location plus the direction we're looking times a meter. And that's the location the flame effect is going to appear in. And then we also damage a zombie if it is in front of us. That's it. So you can just, this is how you can spawn a Niagara system. Okay. And so you can just pick a Niagara system to spawn that you want. And so that's one way of doing it. You can attach a Niagara system to like a skeletal mesh or something like that. Or what we did last time was we just attached this big pillar of fire to us. So you can attach a Niagara into an object like this, into an actor like this, or you can have the blueprint system spawn a Niagara emitter like this. And if you want blueprints to control the parameters in the Niagara system, then you do so via something like this, where you have a Niagara system and then you call set parameter on it, and then you can have it dynamically update its color. Like, do you guys want to see me make the color of the person change based on their health or something? Would that be kind of a fun thing? I'm kind of showing you stuff that's already done, so you're not really getting the step-by-step directions, but you're looking at actually quite a bit of time to actually do all of this stuff. So I'm just kind of showing you the final product in the interests of time. We're already 50 minutes in, and it just took that long to just show you, all the kind of stuff in here. Would you like to see like dynamically changing the color based on your health? I still need to show you how to do a door too, I guess. That'll be the other thing we do today. Or if there's something else you want to see, we can do that as well. But it seems like I've been talking about it, so maybe it might be fun. Based on pickup. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea. Okay. So, okay. Laser beams, check. I don't know if you guys know what reference that's to. Yeah, so we can make it so we take damage or color changes. Okay. All right. If we new variable zeroed. I don't know if that's used anymore. I'm afraid to delete it at this point. Hope that didn't break something. Okay, so if we pick up a power-up, then we turn purple. Okay. So we'll need some sort of variable for like powered up or something. Something like that. And we need to make it public because we're going to make some sort of like pickup, power-up pickup in the world, like the mushroom in Super Mario Brothers or something like that. So probably if we're going to be doing this, we need to have two variables for the different colors. Right, so let's make a variable here for like default color, and this one will be of type color. And then, yeah, this doesn't need to be public. We'll just hard code it. And then we'll make another color called like powered up color. What do you guys think the default color should be? Compile and save to make the defaults appear. What do you guys think? What do you think the default shell color? Like the blue that I had before? Something like that. Make sure, by the way, when you pick colors, for whatever reason, Unreal Engine defaults to 0. So like, you're like picking all these things, you're like, oh look, I made it red, I made it blue. No, you didn't. This is actually black. And the reason for it is because the intensity of the color is always 0 by default. So you have to like drag this up. Because it looks, it looks like you got hot pink or something, but yeah, it just defaults to 0 for whatever reason. So what do you guys think? Blue by default, basically what I had before. Does that work? Blue? Okay. So we will do blue as our default color, and we will do purple as our powered up color here. And so color picker again, we'll go that and drag the intensity all the way up to here. And I'll just set this to 1, 1, so it's perfect purple. And yeah, okay. So there we go. So we've got default color, powered up color. Purple is one of your favorite colors. Cool. All right. So we've got an I don't want to do this in event tick, but whatever. Do as I do, not as I say. All right, so over here we got event tick, and event tick's got like things going on. I don't want to do this in event tick. Hmm. There's, I know how to do this the better way, but I'm just gonna do it the bad way. Okay, so I'm gonna drag the Niagara outliner over here. This is such garbage. I feel so guilty about doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna set a parameter on it, and what type are you? Again, your body shell system. Body shell system opens up into my color. Okay, so we're gonna be setting a parameter called my color on it, and third person character. So I'm going to be set parameter, and I'm going to be setting a color parameter, and the color parameter's name is going to be why are you duplicated? Okay. And I'm just going to drag this in here, and I feel really bad about this, but whatever. Just get it to work first, I guess. Spaghetti. This is the downside of blueprints. This is why I like working with text a lot of times. I mean, blueprints are great, but whenever you need to do something like this, it's just like, Okay, and so the parameter name is called myColor. Okay, and right, and you just have to type that. Like, it doesn't do it for you. It's not. There's no nicer way, as far as I can tell. Like, you probably copy the name or something. But myColor. I don't need you anymore. And your myColor. Okay, and then the parameter that we're going to pass in is the color to set the player's color to be. And we could even do something wild, like maybe like a random value or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. But whatever. Okay. We just do default color. It's not compatible with parameter. Ooh, interesting. Why are you not color structure to linear color structure? There. And actually, yeah, we're gonna need that. Here, let's just try purple. Okay, so we're gonna. Okay. So if this works right, we're just seeing if it works right. It should set our glowy outline color to be purple, and because every tick it's setting it to purple, which makes me feel really bad. Ooh, it is black. We are not getting colors at all on this. Oh, it's not good. Linear color structure. What's your type? Linear color. Okay. So let's delete you. And delete you. Let's try this one more time. Color. Linear color. Save. Powered up color is black. Okay, we're gonna make purple. Okay. So the Niagara outliner is getting its parameter color set to purple, hopefully. Let's see if this works. Without loading time. No, it's not working. My color. My color. Okay. User parameters as warnings. A mesh assigned warning. Preview mesh. Sorry, Um, Maybe is it a color? It is a color. Okay. Color. Parameter name, my color. My color. Okay. Powered up color. Here. Just take this out. Just make sure it's working without it. Alpha was 0? Ah, okay. Product color alpha 0, so we'll set alpha to 1. Well done, Megan. Well done. Nice pickup. All right. It's always the thing with Unreal Engine, right? It's like, you think you're getting purple, you get black. You think you're getting something that is visible, it just defaults to invisible. Okay, well then. Okay, so what we're gonna do, Opacity constantly. Yeah, it's yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why they default to a color that just doesn't draw, but you know, there you go. So we're gonna need a branch in here. Okay. So this will feed into a branch. And if we are powered up, true or false, then so if we are powered up, we will do the powered up color. And if we are not, duplicate. If we're not powered up, then Niagara outliner here. Then we will use, oh, I already deleted it. Dang it. Okay. Default color. So linear color. Yes, okay. File, save, color picker, blue, alpha of 1. Thank you. Default color into here, and there we go. And you come up to here, and we should be good to go. So now, based on the state of our powered up Boolean, we can either have our shell be blue or it'll be purple. So compile, save. Shouldn't have hit save. There we go. Yeah. So it's purple. It's that kind of glowing blue right now. Yeah, I think that was my original color, but whatever. Okay, so now we need to make a power up in the remaining time we have left. Not hard. You guys excited? You want to see how power ups can be done quickly and easily? I'll warm my hands. All right. So one thing a lot of people try to do is they make health boxes with like a red cross on it. It's illegal to do that. A lot of video games in the past have like a med kit with a giant red cross on it. It's illegal actually to do that. There are a few symbols that are like protected by international law that you just cannot use even for your own video game, even though everybody in the past did it. And that's because the Red Cross, the International Red Cross, has a special law on the books that protects the use of the Red Cross symbol only for authorized Red Cross uses. And another one is the Olympic Games. And so if you use the 5 rings of the Olympic Games, you go straight to Gulag. So just be careful. Like when I've seen a lot of games get re-released, like they actually change the textures on them so that like the health packs and things like that have like a red case and a white cross or something like that instead of a white case and a red cross on it. So yeah, a little fun fact, a little legal system. I was talking to a woman who worked for them February. She went to a lot of conflict zones. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we don't need you anymore. And you, I think we can ignore. Try and fit you into here a little bit. Ah, all this spaghetti, it's so terrible. All right, save. So now we need to make a power up. Okay, so we're gonna make a new. Let's just start by making. A cube. Wow, my camera speed's really high. IM speed. There we go. Pull you up a little bit. Snap you down. It's probably a little bit too big, so we're gonna shrink you down a little bit. And snap it down again. And the material that we will put on it. All right. Red Cross trademark. Let's see if we can find a trademark-free version of it. The inverse. Just by having it in my stream. Okay, now. Do you guys know what the red crescent is, by the way? The Red Crescent is the Islamic version of the Red Cross. They did it because, like, there was a notion that like bringing a cross into like conflict zones meant the Red Cross was a Christian organization. The Red Cross is actually an inverse of the Swiss flag. So the Red Cross was founded in Switzerland as an international, nonpartisan, non-religious aid organization that helps everybody. And so they just took the Swiss flag, this, and they inverted it to make this. And so it has nothing to do with religion. It is purely a Swiss reference. And let's add this in. And so, but yeah, so the woman I was talking to thought that the development of the Red Crescent was a bad idea because the crescent is a symbol of Islam, right? And so now you've got the Christian group and the Islamic group, and it had nothing to do with that. So it gave everybody a wrong idea. So I'm going to take this material. I'm going to create a material out of it, and this is going to be called Swiss map. Why not? And there we go. And heck, let's take this and run it into a multiplying node, and we are going to multiply it by a constant number whose value is 100, and we are going to make this thing glowingness. Maybe I can mask out. Just have the cross glow. Now we need to invert this. We do a little cool stuff here. Let's see here. You are going to be a constant whose value is 1. And so, let's see. Here. Okay, so now everything not the cross is glowing. But it's not red. It needs to be glowing red. So I need to multiply this by color, actually. So I'm going to multiply this by a constant 3. And constant 3 that I'm going to pick here is going to be 100, 0, 0. And so save, and metallic probably should be a constant. Metal pickup box here. Save. Kind of want to do something cool with that too. this and feed this into Opacity Mask. Yeah. I like this. Okay. All right. I think we got something cool here. Toss it on there. And now we've got a box that you can see through. You see that? The laughter, death laughter. That's normally what I reserve for just after I give a hard final, but it's not scaled properly. Yeah, we need to crop this. MS Paint, save us. It's not quite square, right? So, open, edit in, open with MS Paint 3D. There you go. Save us MS Paint. Okay. Go to Canvas, crop. A little bit. It'll be. Whatever. Ooh, no, that's not centered. Good enough. Save. Save. Close. Re-import. There you go. It's off center. No. It's unusable. Okay. At least it's not deformed anymore. Okay. So what I did, in case you're wondering, how is this thing see-through? It's glowing and see-through. So what I did was I switched the blend mode here to be masked. Okay. And I could do translucent maybe if I wanted to do something a little bit different from this here. Let's see. And then you could like see through part of the box. But basically, an opacity masking is you can actually, anything you set to be 0 gets deleted from the object, which is pretty cool. So what I did was from this texture sample, which is galling me that it's off center, I am grabbing just the blue channel, which if you look at the blue channel, let's right click. Oh, watch this. This is actually useful. Right click and choose preview, enable real-time preview. Start previewing node there. This is going to show you what is coming out of this here. And then if I do enable start previewing node here, then you can see what's coming out of this blue pin here. So the blue pin is just the blue channel. So the red part here, has nothing in it, and that's blue, and so it's 0. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking 1 minus 0, and so I'm getting this. I'm getting a put on a box. So what's happening is that all the red areas are turning into white. All the white areas are turning into black. So I've essentially done like a Uno reverse card on the colors here. And what I'm doing is I'm just saying take the results of this and feed this into the opacity mask. So anything that's black gets literally deleted out of the object. Now you can see that this object is hollow and it's not a solid object, which I'll probably fix, better stuff later on. But it's amusing for me right now. And then the emissive color is going to be this here. If I preview the result of this, you can see it's multiplying the white times 100 times red, and it's giving me that huge glowy red thing here. And I can tone this down a little bit if I wanted. Maybe it might look a little better in the world. So what do you guys think? You guys like the opacity mask feature? Again, you do that by, if you have nothing selected in your material, you go over here to blend mode masked. Translucent can do a lot of the same things as well. And you can just mask out parts of the thing. You can see it's glowing less strongly now. It was pretty bright before, now it's just bright. Okay, so there we got our cool power-up object. I'm still irritated by it being off-center, but we got like not a lot of time left, so I'm just gonna move on and just bite down on my frustration on it. Okay. So we have this, and we are going to convert you into a blueprint. See, and in Unreal Engine 4, there's a giant blue button here called Blueprint Add Script. In UE5, it's that weird flowchart looking thing, just as a heads up. That's different between the two versions. And I'm going to save this into game bill, and this will be called like Shield Power Up. BP. BP because it's a blueprint. And then here we got the little preview of it, which looks pretty rad. I do say so myself. Good job, Switzerland, making an awesome looking power up flag. I don't need to mess with this later. Easy settings here. No. Whatever. I'll just suck up my frustration. Okay. So here's our shield power up BP, and we're going to add a little like collision to it or something. I'll have like a box collision to it. In the box collision, we will scale up to be bigger than the box a little bit. And so when we come up and touch it, it's going to overlap the box collision. And maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger so you can pick it up from a little bit of a distance like that. File, save. I don't know why this is called R. This is going to be called like collide. Boy, I don't know. And then in our event graph, we don't need begin play. We don't need event tick. All we need is event begin overlap. So yeah, so this will just trigger when the player walks over us or anybody walks over us. So the first thing we need to do is say cast to third person character as always, because we only want the player to be able to pick up the thing, not a zombie. It'd be bad if a zombie can pick up one of these boxes. And so if it succeeds, that means the player has walked over us. So what we're going to do is we are going to take them and set their power up. Set their powered up this to be true. And then we are going to just destroy ourselves and call it a day. Probably we should add to their health too, shouldn't we? Huh? Okay. So we shall get health. And we shall drag off you and say set. Up. And we need to add to your health. And I don't know, we'll add like 25 health when you pick up a health pickup. And then we remove ourselves. We're done. Okay, so cool. So we've got ourselves a little power up, and we can toss out these power ups all over the world wherever we want them. Snap down, and maybe one up in the nightclub area. Snap down, and maybe to encourage people to go Y speed again. Maybe to encourage people to hang out with the zombies over here, we'll put a let's try that again. It's weird. We will put it right smack dab in the middle of these laser zombies here to encourage you to come up there and play. Okay, so let's do this. And so you can see I've got a blue outline right now. And then when I walk over this, it should turn purple. There we go. Okay. The thing only fires once every 10 seconds. So if I'm going to be doing this power-up thing, I probably should have it, activate immediately or something. So it's eating my health. My health is currently above 100, which is another thing I should have fixed. So there we go. I'm taking damage. I'm taking damage. I'm taking damage. All right, die, laser zombies. Okay, and then if I walk over the power-up, then you can see the health goes up, and my shield is now purple permanently. So the only other thing I can think of is to clamp the health at 100. So why don't you update this project to the newest version? I don't know. I just haven't. I just haven't. It's simple answer, I guess. So yeah, we can feed this into clamp. We'll give them the clamps. It's a Futurama reference, of course. So minimum value is 0, maximum value is 100. Shaku. There we go. So if you ever want to make sure that something is between two values, there's a clamp function available, so it can't go below 0, can't go above 100. Good to know, right? Good to know. Useful stuff, useful information. Every day you come to class, you learn useful and neat stuff. Okay. So that will keep our health from going over max. And then maybe the other thing we can do is like, I kind of want it to turn blue again, like after a while. Normally I'd create a timer to do that. But the thing is deleting itself. So maybe we should do, rather than that, break pin links. Maybe we will like spawn a timer, create timer. What's it called? And then this will be just a new custom event called power up over. What if they pick up multiple power-ups? Let's worry about that later. It's a problem for future me. All right, so basically what's going to happen is, let's say the power-up is going to wear off in like 5 seconds or something. Okay. And so in 5 seconds, it's going to call this event, and at that point in time, we are going to get player pawn. That is a problem for future me, and now I am future me. Yeah, it's about to be future me really quickly. Get player pawn. Yeah, it doesn't have a white pin on it. That's something that I always forget, by the way. Like if you drag out from a white pin, it only gives you things that can attach to a white pin. And get player pawn does not require a white pin. And so there we go. And what type are you? Pawn objects. We are going to cast third-person character. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is just in case the player dies, and that, we can't just save this in case the person's dead at that point. So we're going to cast a third-person character, and then we are going to set power up to be false. Okay. So set power up to be false. So basically in 5 seconds, do you guys see how this kind of coding works? So basically what we're doing is when somebody touches the box, we set their powered up state to be true, which will cause their color to change. Again, there's probably a better way of doing this, which I've already realized, but I'm committed to this approach. We add 25 to their health, clamping it to a maximum of 100. We set their health, and then we set a timer, which says in 5 seconds, do this. And then this flow will continue in 5 seconds. This is done. It's finished executing, but there's been a timer spawned, and this is going to happen in 5 seconds. The only thing we should probably do is set visibility to set us as hidden. So once we pick up a box, we hide it. And we're going to destroy the component that allows us to. I don't recall if something is hidden, if it can still collide with something. So we're actually going to turn off that ability, so you can't keep picking up the health over and over again. Okay. Okay. Or we might. Yeah. Okay. We'll try that. Okay. And then in 5 seconds, then we get the player, set their powered up state to be false, so that they go back to blue, and then we finally remove ourselves. We can try this. I think it's probably going to break, though, if we did that up top. I could be wrong. you toggle visibility off, you can still collide. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to fix that. All right. It's a problem for future me. In about 5 seconds. So here we go. We're blue. And I walk over here, and you can see it vanishes. I can't walk through it, though, but at least I can't pick it up multiple times. And then I'm purple, and then after it fades, it's going to go back to being blue again. Like that. Okay. So cool little effect. And then we can run over here and get another health box. And the next time our thing appears, it's purple again. And then the next time it appears, it will be blue. In 10 seconds. There you go. These zombies are just like running all over the place. You can see the death effect there. Okay, and we're back to blue again. And now it's going to encourage me, because normally I just camp them from like here, because like they can't actually make it over the lip of the building. So there's like some cheesy, like, see how they get stuck. So you just shoot them from here. I guess you can still do it. You get the power up. Yeah. So I need to turn off that. Okay. But everything's working. So cool. Yeah. Set collision is one way of doing it. So like, what would happen though if we like destroyed the actor here? Okay. Rather than destroying the component, what if we just destroyed the actor? What do you think is going to happen if we destroy us, this blueprint? You know, take some guesses. Okay, we're purple. And we're still purple. And we're still purple, right? Because what's happening is this whole blueprint is dying, right? When you destroy the actor that it's on. So that's why I originally put it down here. So that only after the timer finishes, then we clean up the entire blueprint. So we'll set the actor hidden, and then, yeah, we'll turn off the collision on it. So set collision, set actor enable collision to be false. Okay. And then it will, for all intents and purposes, be gone until it's not gone. But then it's really gone. So I can walk through it now. And then, wait, did that not work? Oh, it takes 5, it only clears it after 5 seconds. So there's probably some race condition there. Let's see if this works. Okay. Pick that one up. Turn purple, please. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the thing is that the timer is deleting itself after 5 seconds, and so the particle effects spawn every 10 seconds. So it's possible you pick it up, 5 seconds goes by, it turns off the power up, and then yeah. So probably one last thing to do would be to go into the character and I guess like we could just make this thing cycle faster, right? So body shell right now is a 10-second loop duration. We could set it to like, I don't know, 3 seconds or something. And then the colors are going to change over time. Scale color. It's got fades. And you can pick different templates for this as well. So you can have it like be strong or linearly taper. Let's try something like that. That kind of looks cool. Let's try that. Okay. And so it scales the red, the blue, and the green equally. And okay, that should work. It's going to be updating based on the animation. These things. Good, I think. All right, let's see how this works. All right, so if you look at the colors, they're kind of just like pulsing now. Like they don't really fade away like they did before. Okay, so we walk over that, and then it's now purple. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Kind of transitions over the 3 seconds between purple and blue. I kind of dig that. All right. Yeah. I mean, all right. It's cool. Yeah, I'll accept that. Looks pretty nice. And then the maybe I don't know if I like the fact that it seems like way too bright, honestly. Try something like this maybe. What do you guys think? Do you guys like that, or what do you think? Because the zombies are following the same pattern, and I kind of like it when it fades out because that makes the zombies go invisible for a while. I think it's still like too bright, honestly. Like if you look at these colors on it, like they're not really. They're not really fading as much as I want, but whatever. Good enough for now. All right, I got a thumbs up from Megan. So. All right, so the last thing I was going to show you today was how to do a cheesy door. So I guess I'm still in Unreal 4, but whatever, same. It's more or less the same thing. So if you don't have this nice blue button anymore, I don't know why they got rid of that. So let's make a door. Maybe we can have a door over here. We can like, trap these zombies in. Okay. So I'm going to put a cube here. QB, Doka, Magic. You can see it's rebuilding the navigation. So if you look at the nav mesh is going to prevent them from running this way. Let me pull this up a little bit. That, and maybe give it the Swiss material. That might be kind of funny, actually. So, like glowing. It's a glowing sign of Switzerland right here. Feel the frame rate says it's trying to update. Okay. All right. So there's that, and then we need to make a door. All right. So let's make another one of these, I guess. Look at that frame rate. Look at that frame rate. It's constantly recomputing the navigation mesh over and over again. Rotate it 90 degrees around the z-axis. And just slide it into place over here. And then I'm just going to leave a little gap for a doorway. So that the zombies have a way out if the door is open. So here's the path that the zombies will take to get out. So we're going to drop a door in the middle here. Okay. And so the door, oh man, this glowing is gonna kill me. Material parameter time or not? Nah, I'm just gonna tone this down a little bit. Just gonna tone this down to 3. Otherwise, it's gonna hurt my eyes too much. So there you go. It's just there you go. Okay. Turn off the nav mesh for now, and I'm gonna put a cube here, and this cube is gonna be a door. So I'm just gonna slam this here and rotate it here. Scale it vertically a little bit. Snap it down. Check the nav mesh, and you can see the nav mesh is now blocked, right? So the zombies in here are now contained within the containment facility until this door opens. And I'm going to pull this down a little bit because it looks like it's floating in air. Frame rate. There. Okay, so material, let's make it oak or something. I don't know. Shaders, thank you. Okay, there we go. We got an oak door. Like I said, I'm making just a really low rent door here. Maybe we can use. Maybe we'll use the Swiss material on it also. That could be amusing. This is the hospital zone. I don't know. All right, so it's a little deformed. Let's widen it a little bit. Widen a little bit. There we go. Okay. So here is our door to get in. Now it's not a door yet. It's just a box. So we're going to convert it into a blueprint. Again, in the UE5, this would be using the little flowchart looking thing. And we're not going to call you Cube 17 Blueprint. We're going to call you Swiss Door BP because, I don't know, it looks like it's from Switzerland. So we got this, and we got this, and we're going to do what we just did before, which is to add a box collision to it. Like that. And the box collision will get scaled up so that it can be touched. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger on all directions. And I'm actually going to make it a little fat in front so that you don't have to like have your face like slam into the door for it to open. I'm actually going to make it so you can like kind of open it from like maybe a couple meters away or something like that. And there we go. Okay. So that is that. There's going to be a problem with this, but again, that's a problem for future me. So the problem is as the static mesh moves, the collision is going to move with it. And what we actually want is for the collision to stay there so that as long as you're standing there, the door stays down. And when you walk out, the door goes back up. As it is, the door is going to move and the collision zone is going to move with it. And so actually what I'm going to do, so just as a cheap hack, I'm just going to put it up like this. So even with the door on the ground, you're still standing on it and it's going to keep the door down. Okay. So compile, save, event graph, begin play. Probably save our location. Box. When you mask material, it's still collidable. That's a good question. That's actually a really good question. Get world location. Try that in a second. Get the world location. Get world origin. Get static mesh component location. And we are going to right click and promote this to a variable. And this will be called our starting location. And the spaghetti, I'm just going to clean up a little bit. This, I don't know. I got no place better to put it. Maybe over here. Sure, why not? Okay, and this variable is going to be called starting location. And so we're just going to save our starting location, so we got a place to go home to if we need to. Event tick we don't need, and then event begin overlap. So what's going to happen is that when somebody begins touching that overlap zone here, we're going to start a timeline, and the timeline is going to drive us down into the ground. And then when we end overlap, which we're going to need a end overlap for, there we go. Okay. Then it's going to rewind. Okay. This was your homework assignment, but I'm just showing you kind of like how I do a cheap and dirty door. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast to third-person character. Like this, just again to make sure it's the player, not a zombie. We don't want the zombies opening the door. That would cause problems, right? Or would it? I don't know. Maybe it's a feature. So duplicate. Oh, it's control W to duplicate. In UE4, they changed it to control D to duplicate in Unreal 5. Go figure. Okay. So, all right. So if the player begins overlapping, then we're going to make a timeline. So we're going to timeline. We're going to add a timeline. Door opener. This. And so here's kind of the key concept. So when the player begins overlapping the door, we're going to hit play. When the person walks away from the door, we're going to hit reverse. And so what that's going to do, it's going to have the door open, and then we walk through, and after we leave, the door slams shut again. And this door, we're just going to have it slide right into the ground. Last time I showed you how to rotate a door. Today we're just going to have the doors go straight into the ground. It's the world's easiest to do door. Door opener, make a new float track, and this is going to be called %open. And we're going to add a couple of nodes by shift clicking. Time 0, it's going to be 0 at time 1.5 maybe. At time 1.5 seconds, it'll have a value of 1. And so again, I like to have these things scale from 0 to 1, and then I can have the blueprints actually do any scaling that's necessary. What's wrong? Object is undetermined. Something to cast their first objector. Did I not hook it up? I did not hook it up. Okay, thank you. File, and there we go. Okay. So when the person touches the door, it's going to play the timeline. When the person walks away from the door, it ends the timeline. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to set world location. Set world location of the static mesh component to be the original location, starting location, minus, because we're going to be moving it downwards, right? And that's actually a little bit different, by the way, in UE5. Line it up. So we're going to subtract off the Z axis. We're going to split here, split, please. Thank you. And so we're going to subtract off the Z, and we're going to grab the %open, and we're going to multiply this by a float, and the float is going to be a variable, and the variable is going to be called, I don't know, how far down to move. This will be a public instance-editable variable. Let's see. And that will be our location. So what's going to happen is %open is going to go from 0 to 1. When it's 0, we're going to multiply how far down to move by 0. If we get 0, subtract 0, it does nothing. But then when %open goes all the way up to 1, then it's going to move however far we set down to move and however far down to move. That's how far down it's going to slide into the world. It's going to default to like, I don't know, like 3 meters or something. And then save. And then whoever it is making our map can click on this. They can actually change how far down the map should move when it comes down to it. But I'm just saying by default, move 3 meters down. That seems good for most doors. And so if I sprint over to you can see these boxes are a lot less impressive now that they're not glowing so much. Okay. So I'm going to come over to our hospital zone over here. And these zombies are like, wow, what? What? Huh? That guy just yeeted himself out of the hospital zone. Okay. That was cool, but you're dead now. All right. That was hilarious. Yeah, so there's your answer, Megan. Is that even though it's been masked out, they still collide. Okay. So if I walk up and touch the door, wow. Okay. That just happened. It's going to complain at me. It's not movable. Yep. It's not movable. Yep. As always. Always forgot. Click and under my face, make it movable. Thank you very much. Compile, save. I don't know what's going on there, but it's kind of funny. The zombies have physics enabled on them, so they actually knock you. And I think when I'm standing above them, they're actually hitting with enough force that it's actually like washing me into the atmosphere, which is kind of funny. Okay, so sprint back over here, and they're pushing on each other as well. So I think one of them got kind of underneath one of them. That's too fun. Oh, they got out. all right. There's the other guy over there. Okay, so if I walk up, the door slides open, and if I walk back, the door slides shut. Right? There you go. That's all it takes to make a. Now that they can pass to me, they're chasing me. I think the nav mesh. That's too funny. I think the nav mesh isn't dynamically updating. So, like, can you come out? Can you get me? Get me? Maybe I should have it open on the zombies. That'd be kind of funny. I don't think I have a dynamic nav mesh set. Let me check. So if you go to the nav mesh by default is just pre-computed, right? And so right now it's saying there's no path between here and here. But you can make it so that when objects move like doors, that it will dynamically recalculate the nav mesh and will allow them to walk out. And you can do that by going to project settings and going to nav. Searching, you could go through all these things, but trust me, it's usually easier to search. Nav mesh check interval, draw nav mesh. Array, window navigation, auto create. Okay. Building one. Somewhere. Okay. Nav mesh. Display. We don't care about it. Runtime generation static. Okay. So if you set the thing to dynamic, then the nav mesh should update when the door opens. Now I'm standing like right on the door, so I probably should make this box a little bit bigger, actually like substantially bigger, like that, and even taller, and maybe even wider. So like if I'm just anywhere within the neighborhood, the door will open. Then that'll allow me to let the zombies out from a distance rather than having to stand in it, which will block the path anyway. Okay, so I don't know exactly why those zombies are like flying like they are, but ooh, feel that frame rate. Oof. Maybe I should not be dynamically regenerating the nav mesh in real time. Look at that frame rate. Oh. So painful. Gonna have to turn this back off. Okay, so come up here, and you see the doors opening, and now they're walking out. You see that? So with dynamic nav mesh generation on, it is working properly, but it is too expensive. That is not a price that I am willing to pay. So nav mesh, we are going to set you back to static. So yeah, I'm fine with that. The zombies can get out anyway, so yeah, it's kind of amusing. This is your favorite part of the game, yeah. Well, I'm going to show this to Ada. I'm going to go pick her up, and well, right now actually, and I'm going to show her the updates to her game. I think she's going to like it. So we'll turn the glowingness up to 1,000. Let's see how this looks, and then we'll call it for a day. So your job for your homework is to make a Niagara system. Yeah, I like that. That's what Switzerland should look like. It's exactly what the Swiss flag should look like. Just emissive 1,000. Why not? All right. So your homework for today is to make a Niagara system that can interact with blueprints. Okay. Look at those things, like little nuclear like nuclear like reactors. That guy just flew off the roof. That's funny. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's glowing hot. Yeah. Okay. And then let's run over here. That guy got out, I guess. Oh my gosh, that's just too funny. Ah! Stuck. This is not good. I'm gonna die. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, they yeeted me. Nice. Okay. Look at that. You can see the reflection of the emissive surfaces in there. Oh, they're locked out. That's funny. Oh, there we go. We lost. A loser is you. So that is it for and then the game restarts again. But that's it for our lecture today. Hope you guys had fun, learned some stuff about Niagara. Your job again is to make a Niagara system that can interact with blueprints, like we did there. In essence, let me pull up the thing. I'll screenshot it for you. The main thing is this kind of thing right here, right, where you grab a Niagara object and you can set parameters on it like that. So it doesn't have to be a color parameter. It could be a vector parameter, like on Laser Boy. It's a vector parameter where I'm setting a point in space, and yeah. And so that setting point in space, I do a trace line. I find the impact point, and then that's the place where I'm going to draw the system. Okay. And where I draw the input, the impact fountain. And yeah, so they don't have to be color parameters. They can be any parameter, and those things are made in the systems laser system by making a parameter here. You can make a new parameter that's a vector or a color or whatever, and you give it a name, and then once you have it here, like if you have a color, you just drag the color parameter onto the color thing on the system or on the emitter, and then it's all connected together. So that is your job for next time. Hope you guys had fun today. I know I had fun. It's always fun playing my daughter's Laser Zombies game. So we did that for a game jam a year ago, actually, about this time a year ago, for IS-50B. So you guys aren't expected to be as advanced as a 9-year-old quite yet. This was a game jam project. My daughter and I worked on one along with Mike from our school, and I had a student do the splash screen there. A loser is you. But students were working on a project like that. So that's what you have to look forward to in IS-50B. If you guys take it, which you all should, because IS-50B is a lot of fun. So if you're enjoying IS-50A, take IS-50B. There's more of the same. And like I said, we might even allow 50B to be repeatable in the future, so you can keep taking and keep learning more stuff. That's it for today. Thanks for coming out, and I'll see you guys next time.